I had a very hateful Protestant call Catholic Truth today, and he didn't even say hello. He just called us up. I said, "Hello, Catholic Truth. Bryan speaking." And usually my administrative assistant answers, but she's away on maternity leave right now. So I just happened to pick up the phone, and he says, "This is Bryan." I said, "Yes." He says, "Are you my father, yes or no?" And even I was about to speak, and then he said, "No, you're not. You're not my father. You can't be anybody's son except for your own father. And so you can't call anybody father except your own father." And I said, I mean, it was so hostile. And I said, "Well, actually, we do call other people father all the time. My best friend's father." And he said, "No, you can't." He's like, "You're not their father." I said, "Except that we call people mother and father who aren't our mother and father all the time." And he says, "No, we don't." And he says, "Are you, yes or no, my father?" And he just wanted me to pigeonhole in this argument. I said, "Sir," and I'm thinking in my head, people who get divorced and then they start dating someone else, and then their kid starts calling that person father, they call them father even though they're not their father. I mean, I could have given him many examples if I was allowed to speak, but I wasn't allowed to speak, and he kept trying to pigeonhole me in this one argument. And I said, "Sir, we call people father all the time." I was like, "I've called people father who aren't my father." He said, "You're a liar. You're a liar." And he started yelling into the phone, "You're a liar." I was like, "We can't have a conversation." And he's literally yelling at me. So I ended up just hanging up because he wasn't, he was very toxic and he wasn't open to having a discussion. From there, he went and called back a few times, left a few voicemails, none of which I listened to. And I decided to give him some time to calm down. And so he called a little bit later, and I decided to answer the phone again, thinking, you know what? Maybe he's thought about his actions. Maybe we could start over and have a good conversation. Yeah, I didn't really think that was going to happen, but I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. And so when he called, he said, "Are you my father? Yes or no? Just yes or no?" And I said, "Hi, sir, what's your name?" And because I want to break the ice, I want to teach him that, you know what, we're humans. We don't need to fight all the time. We can have a rational, loving conversation. And he gives me his name. I don't remember what it was, maybe Thomas. And so I said, "Thomas, how are you today?" And he said, "Are you my father? Yes or no?" I said, it's how are you? It's customary when you call, yes or no. Listen, when you call someone, yes or no. I'm like, usually when you call someone, you say hello. You say, "How are you? Can we have a conversation?" I'm trying to teach him basic etiquette. Do you even want to have a conversation? Can I ask a question? These are custom, yes or no. See, you can't answer the question because you're not a real Christian. I'm a born again Christian. I'm a real Christian. He said, "Sir, I'm Catholic. I'm the original Christian. I'm the true Church of Jesus Christ." And he said, "You can't answer the question. You Catholics are liars." And I said, "Sir, he said, "Go to hell. Just go to hell. Go to hell," he said. He's literally yelling into the phone. And I said, "Sir, we love you. I just want to let you know we love you." And then I hung up on him again because there's no way anyone would want to deal with that kind of toxicity. You can't. He's not open to a conversation. I wanted to have a conversation with him, but in order for that to happen, he had to listen. The only time he listened was when he said, "The Bible says call no man father." This was in our second conversation. And I said, "But the Bible does call a man father, sir." I said, 1 Corinthians 4:15, Paul calls himself a father. He said he became our father in the gospel. And for the one split second, he didn't say anything. Like he didn't know that. And so I took the opportunity to keep going. And I said, Romans chapter 4 calls Abraham our father in the faith 6 times. And for a split second, he said, "No, no. Are you my father? Yes or no? You're not my father." He just went off on the same tangent. I said, "Sir, the Bible calls men father." "You're a liar." And that's when he started getting all upset and condemning me to hell. I said, "Sir, we love you. I'm going to pray for you. Bye-bye." And I ended up hanging up on him lovingly. I tried to love him. I tried to give him the time of day. I tried to teach him to have a rational discussion and maybe just say hello first. Some people are so angry and so hostile. I didn't even feel like it was him. I felt like that his voice was so almost like growling. It just sounded like so evil, like the devil was like yelling through him. And I don't know why he was so angry, but the bottom line is that's not the first person I've talked to like that. I used to do a lot of street evangelization, church evangelization. I used to knock on Protestant churches and talk to the pastors and different people. And a lot of people have yelled at me over the years, but we can't yell back. That's not Christ's way. The Pharisees hated Jesus. They crucified Jesus. And what did he do? He loved them till his last breath. He forgave them. And that's what we need to do too. We need to love people, even if they don't listen. And funny fact, we're making a course on evangelization and how to share the faith and how to win people over and how to share the faith effectively to make it work. We teach you how to get through to almost anyone with these techniques because I've been doing it for almost 3 decades now. And I know how to evangelize people, but there's always some people you can't evangelize. Even Jesus couldn't get through to everyone. Jesus could not get through to the Pharisees. They were so hard-hearted that they didn't even want to listen. And if someone doesn't want to have a conversation and they don't want to listen, you can't force them. You can't force them. So, I just ended up hanging up for my good, but also for his good. It's not healthy that he acts that way. It's not healthy for him to be that angry and hostile. In fact, if he claims to be a Christian, he should start bearing the fruits of the Spirit. This fruit of the Spirit is not anger, condemnation, hatred, revenge, hostility, and that sort of thing. It's love, peace, patience, kindness. And we need to exude that. And sure, sometimes we all fail and sometimes we all lose it a little bit, but to be this hostile, you really need to go on a retreat. You need to really get some healing, inner healing. And that's what I think a lot of these people need is inner healing. A lot of them have been really hurt. And Jesus has saved their life from something tragic, but then they've literally taken their fundamentalist lifestyle that they had before and they've connected it to Christianity, and they haven't had that fundamental change. They know Christ changed them and they love them, but he hasn't changed them from within. I was the same way. When I first started evangelizing, I yelled and screamed at everybody because I loved Jesus, but I was still unconverted. I still needed healing in my heart. I still needed conversion in my heart. And Christ worked on me over the years, which is why I'm able to talk to people and love people like this, even when they get hostile, even when they're yelling in my face. I can see beyond that. And that's not me. That's a gift. That's a grace that God gave me many years ago, just to see the person behind that, the hurting person, the sad person, or the angry person who just needs prayers. So pray for this person. I prayed for him. We should always pray for people we evangelize before we evangelize them and after, and possibly during the conversation too, if possible. But I prayed for him, and I'll continue to pray for him because there's so much more there. We don't battle against flesh and blood, but against spirits and powers and principalities. And those are real. So that is what we're praying against. Catholics, Protestants out there, find common ground. Talk to each other as humans first. Don't hate each other. Don't hate Catholicism so much that you hate the person as well, that you miss the person for the religion. And sometimes Catholics can do that too. We're so used to condemning Protestants are heretics. Protestants are going to hell. And we just get these phrases that we mindlessly repeat over and over, and you lose the person. We must never lose the person because that is first and foremost the most primary thing. We must love the person. Without love, nothing else matters. None of our efforts help. In fact, St. Anthony of Padua said, without love, all of your efforts are in vain and they don't please God. Even if you're trying to do something right, even if you give the best arguments, doesn't please God because God is love and he wants us to love. Not to yell, scream, get angry, hate people, condemn people. It's not from God. It's not from the Spirit. So pray for those people who do. And if you're a Catholic who does that, maybe you need to take a break from evangelization, from online apologetics, and you need to go on a retreat. You need to get a good, deep prayer life, and you need to have that deep relationship with Christ, which will overflow in you. And then you can give that to others, not the other way around. You give Christ to others, but you have to have that relationship first. Thanks for watching this video today, this short video. I hope it was helpful for you. Please pray for my friend. Please pray for our friend because he really needs it. And there's many people out there who need it. I needed it at one point, and a lot of people were praying for me. So please pray for him. Definitely check out our course on how to share the faith and how not to, how to effectively bring friends and family back to the Catholic Church. I hope to get that up online on our website, catholictruth.org, this week. I've been having a couple technical problems with it, but I hope to get it up by the end of this week. So check out that. We will give more information on that. And if you would like a retreat, apologetics seminars, evangelization seminars, or anything else at your parish or your group, please check out our website at catholictruth.org. And please support our ministry if you love what we do and you want to see it shared to the world. If you think our message is important, if we have changed you, if we have changed your life, if we have instructed you, fed you, helped you to learn your faith and defend it, please give back and help us to teach others. Please support our ministry generously, maybe $25 a month, $50 a month, or even $100 or $200 if you can, if you find this ministry incredibly informative. Thank you so much for watching, and God bless.